I need to tell you about the first time I realized hard work could beat talent. I'm a kinesiologist and strength coach, but I was once a shy 120-pound 10-year-old. I just moved to London, Ontario, so new school, new city, and just trying to fit in. Within a month, I'm forced into running laps around my school for cross-country tryouts. And by running laps, I mean walking every minute with burning lungs, wondering if I'm about to have a heart attack. What bothered me the most wasn't my burning legs or being out of breath. It was getting lapped by a bunch of younger, faster kids. My first race was a blur, but I remember other heats starting while I was still trying to finish my race. I passed a few kids who were also overweight, but I was just glad that it was over. So, first cross-country race, 105th place. And here's the thing, every other sport I tried, I just tagged along. London, Ontario is home to some of the best competitive teams in just about every sport. These kids have been training for years, and they were also naturally gifted. But cross-country was the start of every school year, and a yearly reminder of where I stood. But the race that really left a mark was my last one in grade 11. I was 17, and it was the first time I considered myself to actually be in shape. It was my last 7-kilometer race. It felt like the start of the Hunger Games, just sprinting as fast as you could until you could catch up to a herd to stick with. And I placed in the top 50. So, not good enough for provincials, but it was the first time I had beaten friends who were always faster than me. I started catching up when I stopped chasing results and started acting like the person who did those things. The cross-country runner runs every day, on weekends, in the cold rain. I took this approach with everything that piqued my interest after that. I ran a few half marathons, but I stopped caring about running after that. I spent the last 10 years just focusing on building muscle. During my undergrad, I signed up for Olympic weightlifting. I didn't want to compete, but that's how you got better, so I did it. Last year, I wanted to get better at jiu-jitsu very quickly, so I did what any sane person would do and started showing up to 5 a.m. practices. I would wake up at 4 and have to walk 40 minutes to practice, sometimes in knee-deep snow while roads were getting plowed. 3 days a week, getting my ass beat by the comp team. I'd never wrestled before. I was getting tossed around by cage fighters and college wrestlers. But it slowly got easier. I would show up at the same time at my clinic's gym in between practices just to lift weights. I did that for 9 months before getting a tear in my big toe at the MTP joint and having to wear a boot for a month. And guess what? I would still hobble to practice just to do anything to maintain that routine. I personally would have stayed in bed and felt sorry for myself, but the person I was trying to become wouldn't do that. Right now, my epilepsy got worse to the point where I can't lift heavy weights anymore, so I'm back to calisthenics and kettlebell workouts until I can get back to the gym. Since going on sick leave, I revisited running, and it's really brought me back to my younger days. I laugh at myself because I'm 210 pounds now and not nearly as fast as I used to be, but I'm much happier with the range of confidence I currently have. My younger self would cry at just how much I've accomplished over the years, and that goalpost has moved so much further because I know we're just getting started. So, what does this mean for you? If you feel hopelessly behind, like you're 105th place in a race everyone else started 10 years ago, here's what matters. The talented kids take their gifts for granted. You won't. Growing up behind everyone else gave me a head start in learning the how and why behind training, to the point where it shaped my future. The naturally gifted kids never had to think about it. Now most of them are out of shape, bragging about the good old days. When they hit their ceiling, they won't know what to do, but you've been learning this whole time. You don't need to close this gap all at once. You simply need to act like the person who's already there. And don't feel bad about being out of shape. You're out of shape because you've practiced being out of shape. Instead, ask yourself, what does the person I'm trying to become do every day? Then do that. Not perfectly, just consistently. Start acting like the person you want to become. The gap will close itself.